From all the poems we have seen in this class from Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, which one called your attention the most and why?
Soneta dos, Rosa Divina que Gentil Cultura. And that hit me on a personal level. And like I had mentioned before, Sor Juana was someone that I could relate to. And she had talked about the beauty in the small things, and she really encompassed what it was like to live life on a daily basis. Through my personal experience, my mom had passed away in August, and it really hit me because she encompassed the things that Sor Juana had talked about. So reading about what Sor Juana had to say and talking about that death is inevitable, and that you have to live your life one day at a time and live it daily, was something that I really enjoyed reading, because it was something that when I read it, it really hit home for me, and it really taught me that in my life I need to encompass these things as well as she did too.
The poem that caught my attention the most would be her sonnet A una rosa, which I thought was really neat because it's something that we don't really think about, I feel. You know, she says that at the end of the poem, the rose dies, and it's deceitful, but when it dies, it teaches us a lesson, and I think that's that. But we really focus as a society on things that are very temporary, but we don't really realize that those things are going to fade. It helps people to realize that they should be developing other things that will last longer, whether it's bettering yourself or your mind.
One, because she talks about death in a way that's unusual for someone of that time. You know, she says in a part of her poem, you turn into a cadaver, into dust, into shadow, and then into nothing. And I found that to be very similar to my own beliefs, that in the afterlife, you know, there's really nothing left of you, so what matters is how you live your life now.
In la respuesta, or the reply by Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, this author defends her rights to study and write in spite of being a woman in 17th century Mexico. Could you tell us how does Sor Juana Inés' reply talks to you?
She had to defend herself for what she believed in and what she wanted to do. And I think all of us in a sense go through that at some point in our life, whether it's, you know, to another friend or to their parents or, you know, to men. It's something that I've gone through as well. And it's even something that established women go through, that they have to defend their right. It really, I had just been on a study abroad, and we visited a company while we were in Paris, and one of the women said that she still gets discriminated against in her job today, even though she's very high up. And I think it just goes to show that, you know, it's something that we can't avoid, but it's something that if we did like Sor Juana did, then we can get through it.
Shadowing in her literature was actually pretty almost ironic when I first read it. She was studying and she defended her right to study, and it kind of maybe defended my decision to come to Michigan State from New Jersey. And I think it was just defending the decision to my parents was the big thing, because they didn't study at university. They're both immigrants. My mother escaped Cuba in a boat. My father had a little bit of a more traditional immigration to the United States. So just defending my right to study and an opportunity that my parents didn't have. I could see Sor Juana having some struggles with that and her defending her right to study. So I kind of related that concept with my right to study here at Michigan State.
Taking her own motivations and then putting them in an accessible way so that other people around her that are questioning her would be able to be like, oh, I guess I understand that. You know, it just the way that she's very intelligent in the way that I think she goes about explaining herself and the reasons for doing what she does. To be writing in a period where there was that much tension, just to exist and be doing something that was different, and to, you know, put yourself out there, but also be able to be eloquent enough to defend what you're doing, is really cool.
So Sor Juana's reply really speaks to me, because I have had a lot of people in my life cast doubt on my own choices. Specifically, I would like to study medicine, and you would think most people would be like, oh, that's great. But really, I've had a lot of people telling me, oh, well, you're a woman, you should be a nurse, or you should be a physician's assistant, or oh, your goals are too high, they're unrealistic, well, when you fail, you're going to be so sad. Sor Juana was in a society where really, as a woman, she couldn't do what she did do, and yet she still managed to be, and not only an intellectual, but more intellectual than most of her peers, I would say. and just came out and said exactly what she felt. So I feel like if Sor Juana could do it in that society, I could absolutely do what I would like to do in today's world.
Women in today's society, things are much better than when she was, trying to learn and trying to accomplish her dreams and study. Now it's much easier, but there are still difficulties. It's difficult to get published when you try to write certain genres, specifically genres that people think are more male-dominated, such as war, things like that. So for her to stand up in a time like that when it was just unheard of is really inspirational.